Good morning, everybody. This is Lupita Eyde-Tucker. I am the owner of the group, and I am, here to just share some information with y'all. This is the time of year where a lot of parents who have chosen to homeschool sometimes put their students back or transfer their students into a public school for the fall. And so I've seen a number of posts lately kind of with parents asking questions who are in that particular situation. So I wanted to just jump on here really quickly and explain something that's very important in regards to the official transcript for your student. So when you send a letter of intent to the county, you are establishing a school in your home that is equal to a public or private school. There are lots of rights and privileges associated with that, and those rights and privileges were not a gift from the state of Florida. They were hard fought and won by our lobbyist Brenda Dickinson in Tallahassee and homeschool veterans in the state that have basically insisted that the schools and the state follow their own laws because they're written to benefit our children and to uphold our rights as home educating parents. So I preface everything I'm going to say with that information because it's foundational and it's important. So when you transfer a student from homeschool to a public school in the state of Florida, that actually has a set procedure, and that procedure is in our state statutes. There is a rule that is called the Uniform Transfer of Credits Rule, and that is the process by which all schools are able to transfer a home educated student into their school. Now, for most circumstances, it's not a big issue, but when a student is transferring to a high school, it does become a big issue because you want to make sure that the credits, the high school credits that your student has earned, that your student has put in the time to complete, are transferred properly. And you don't ever want to put your student in a position where they're going to lose credits that they actually earned. So this rule, the Uniform Transfer of Credits Rule, actually benefits the student. And that's crucial. So the reason why I'm getting on here is because, sometimes we think, well, we're just going to take a shortcut if the school doesn't necessarily follow that. Maybe it's just easier, more convenient for us. But in reality, if we don't know all the facts behind what that rule entails, we could be shortchanging our students. That's why I wanted to explain it to you. So what the rule says, the Uniform Transfer of Credits Rule, and it's in our group file, so you can go in there and download a copy for yourself and read it. You can also Google that and read it. It's not very long. What it says is that a student can transfer to a public school, and the public school has to accept their credits as long as those credits are presented on an official transcript. So what does that mean, an official transcript? Well, when you send a letter of intent to the county, you're establishing a school in your home, which means that your school, your home school, is your student's school of record. So it doesn't matter what curriculum they use. It could be dual enrolled. They could be doing a CELIS, para homeschool, time for learning. You could be traditional homeschooling with textbooks. You could be using FLVS. You can use any curriculum you want. That does not ever change the fact that your school, your homeschool, is your student's school of record. And only the school of record can issue official transcripts for that student. So things get a little bit complicated when we use FLVS, for example, because FLVS is, in addition to being curriculum that we use for our students, it's actually also a public school, right? So when you homeschool your student and they're using FLVS, they're not a student of FLVS. They are a student of your school, and they happen to be using FLVS curriculum as their curriculum for one or more subjects. So never in any moment does using FLVS supersede your letter of intent. So if your child takes classes through FLVS, because FLVS is an actual school, when your child completes those courses and those credits, they will put them on an official transcript, which basically proves that the student completed those credits at their school. But that official transcript is not your child's official transcript. That is just an official transcript, meaning that it's officially from Florida Virtual School. What you need to do with that information is you need to transfer everything that's on that FLVS document, and you need to put it on an official transcript that is issued by the school of record, your school, your homeschool. If you are homeschooling via letter of intent, then you, the parent, are the school official of your school. So you must issue the transcripts and also sign the transcript. So that's where it gets a little bit confusing. I've seen a lot of parents ask questions about official transcripts. Some of you have reached out to me personally with questions about official transcripts and about FLVS and trying to download them from FLVS. You can download an official transcript from FLVS, an official FLVS transcript. And you can use that information to create your own transcript. But it does not benefit the student, and it does not uphold our rights as homeschoolers in the state of Florida to give that official FLVS transcript to the public school, because that's cutting yourself out of the equation. That's basically you saying, I don't think that I'm worthy enough to create an official transcript for my student, or I don't think that I'm official enough. And that's not true. And so even if your child, even if you're like, but I just want to give him that's easier for me. In the long run, it doesn't help all of us because we always want the schools to understand that our schools are equal to theirs. Our state law puts our schools as equal to theirs. So we should always maintain that. And also, if your student has done FLVS classes, for example, but has perhaps also done other things, either with textbooks or any other subjects, or maybe some maybe unschooled type subjects, you're going to put all of that on the transcript, and they have to take all of it if it's on your transcript. But if you only send them part of the picture, then you're basically giving them the opportunity to not accept anything else, when by law they're supposed to. It's explained in the Florida Uniform Transfer of Credits rule. So I hope I'm being clear with this. I'm not trying to be bossy or rude or tell you what to do or, be, kind of like hard-headed about this. It's really a matter of when your student transfers to a public school and you present all of their credits on an official transcript created by you, you're forcing them to follow the law. And the law says that the public school has to accept those credits, and they have to be validated by a probationary period of 1 quarter. And if the student performs satisfactorily during that 1 quarter probationary period, then those credits on the transcript that you presented are validated, and then they must be transferred to the public school transcript from that point forward. So let me give you a tiny little example, for example. So let's say that your child did Algebra 1, and they used, maybe they used teaching textbooks, or BJU Press, or a Mr. D, okay? So they completed they completed the course, you put it on your official transcript, and then something happens and you're transferring your child to a public school. When you present that official transcript to the public school, they're not even allowed to ask you, or it should never even come up as a question as what curriculum did you use. What you put on the transcript is required to be accepted at face value. So the next step for them to do in order to follow the procedure would be to place the student in the next level of math. And if your child starts taking that next level at the public school, and during the first quarter they perform satisfactorily, meaning that they get a C or higher in the class, or maintain a C or higher, then they can continue in that course. And that Algebra 1 credit is validated. So as you can see, that definitely benefits the student the most. And that's really what we want, right? Because that's important. Now, if the student does not perform satisfactorily, then the school will come back to you and say, hey, your student's not doing well in this class. It says on their transcript they had Algebra 1. we're thinking we need to, regroup here, maybe put them back in Algebra 1, or, figure out some other method to either validate the credit or, downgrade the student to that Algebra 1 class if necessary. But at least this way, you have the opportunity to present the information of the credits your child has actually completed, and that's really the most important thing. Now, when I say that they transfer the credits, that's required. They're not required to transfer the grades, and that's where you do want to have a backup of the FLVS transcript, because they oftentimes will transfer the grades for that are on an FLVS transcript, because FLVS is a public school. But they're not required to transfer any grades from any non-accredited sources. Okay, so this is a lot of information. I know a lot of you are in this situation, so use the comments to ask any questions that you might have. I'm sorry for the background noise. I hope it wasn't too distracting. And let me see if there's anything else I can think of that might help you out with this. Yes, there is, actually. So in our group files, we have the Uniform Transfer of Credit Rule. I recommend reading that. It's short, it's a one-pager. And then also, the Florida Department of Education created a frequently asked questions document to go along with that. And it's helpful to read that as well if you end up in that situation where you have to transfer over to a public school, because then it really goes in point by point and explains the procedures. That way, because sometimes you actually do have to educate the folks at the public school. They may not have had this situation before, or they have, but it's too far between instances that they can't remember exactly how it works. So just educating yourself about that process can then help you also ease them into following the rule that they're required to follow. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. We do have official transcript templates in our group files, so you're welcome to use those, but also you can Google high school transcript template or homeschool transcript template. All those search terms will bring up a ton of different options for you. And you can always ask questions in the group if you want to know specifics about how to do a transcript, calculating a GPA, all that kind of stuff is all easy, readily available information. But yeah, thanks for watching, y'all, and I hope this was helpful.